About 2 weeks ago, I was on my way home from Texas, where the annual gathering of the House of Bishops had met. The journey home began with a 2-hour shuttle ride from the camp to the airport, a ride that usually takes only 1 hour. It was not a good way to start the day, and I was about to learn it was a sign of things to come. Our destination was the Houston airport, where TSA wait lines were running at about 4 hours. Yep, I was there. It's as bad as everything we heard in the news. Just finding the end of the line took some doing, and a trip into the dark subway tunnel at the airport that eventually ended up in a completely different concourse than where I needed to be. And that's where my trek began to the security gate. Weaving back and forth up escalators, down corridors, round and round, up and down, across baggage claim area, and through office areas usually hidden from the public. And along the way, there were these signs that kind of told the story. 200 minutes, 150 minutes, 120 minutes. And the line kept moving at a snail's pace, slowly, endlessly. Then when I finally reached the large main ticketing area, it felt less like an airport and more like a Disney ride on steroids. The entire space had been turned into this kind of maze, hundreds, maybe thousands of people moving back and forth in that familiar, monotonous rhythm of an amusement ride. It was exhausting, frustrating, and heartbreaking. And suddenly, 3 people in front of me, an airport agent in an orange vest, stepped forward, pulled open the retractable nylon belt, and said, "Go this way." It felt like a cruel joke. Another reroute, another maze, more and more delay. But then everything changed. To my great surprise, that new way led directly to the front of a newly opened security line, and just like that, I walked straight on through. Now, I'm not saying that God suddenly intervened, but it was a nice surprise. And there is a point to be made. We believe in a God of surprise. And Easter is the greatest surprise of all. Easter is the day that God intervened, opening a new way for us. Remember how it began? The women's trek to the tomb that morning, expecting nothing more than the mundane, exhausting, heartbreaking task of tending to Jesus' body. Their hearts were heavy with grief and loss. They were simply going through the motions of love in the face of death. And then everything changed. The stone was rolled away. The tomb was empty. It felt like a cruel joke. But then they heard a message that they never could have imagined. He is risen. God had opened a new way where there was no way, through death, through darkness, through everything that seemed finished and lost. So much of life can feel like a long line, predictable, frustrating, exhausting, heartbreaking. We move through our days doing what we must be done, often expecting nothing more than what we already know. We turn on the news, and it's more of the same. And yet Easter tells us this, that God is still at work, quietly, mysteriously, and even in ways that surprise us, opening new ways that we cannot yet perceive. We cannot make divine surprises happen. We cannot force resurrection, but we can be open to it. Open to the possibility that even now God is making a way forward, creating a path through what feels like a dead end, bringing new life out of what seems lost. So what do? Perhaps it's as simple as this: be open to surprise. It's not as simple as it might seem, because being open to surprise means letting go of our certainty that the story is over. It means trusting that what we see right now is not the final scene. It means releasing our grip on how we think things must go so that we might encounter God's new creation breaking in. Divine surprise often begins very small. So small we might miss it. A word, a quiet nudge, a familiar voice that gently asks, "Have you tried going this way?" As we allow ourselves to follow, even slightly, we begin to notice something. We find kindness where we did not expect it. We discover that love can return even after a time of loss. We hear laughter rising up in us after so many tears. We feel something again after a season of numbness. We realize that fear no longer has the final word, and slowly, quietly, we come to see that the past is truly past, that somehow we can turn to a new future. Easter invites us to stand right in the middle of life's exhaustion, frustration, heartbreak, and emptiness, and still dare to be open, to listen for a song even at the grave, to watch for a sign even in the dark, to hear a voice even in the silence calling us to not be afraid, to go a new way. After all, Easter is God's greatest surprise, and it may be closer than we think. Hallelujah. Christ is risen. The Lord is risen indeed. Hallelujah.